So a lot of people ask me, where do you begin with your food storage? The first place to start with your food storage is to have an adequate water supply. I have water bottles that are easy to take. I have them in my 72-hour kit and the car kit. These are great for drinking water. We're asked to have 14 gallons of water per person per day for drinking. That doesn't include any washing or cooking or cleaning, so that's why we have them in the 55-gallon drums. This is a great way to store your water. You just get a spigot and the water can come out. Just make sure that you have it on wood so that any chemicals in the cement won't get into your containers. Alright, so water is the first step. After you have a supply of water, then you want to move on to items that your family eats on a regular basis in a 3-month period. Pretty much just think of it as items that you would have to buy at the grocery store. If your family likes a lot of pasta, buy some pasta sauce, some spaghetti. Start with meals that you know your family will eat and just start to build up on those. When those items go on sale, those are the items you want to focus on to add to your food storage. A lot of canned goods. Yeah, we'll stop there for a second. One thing that's important is to think of your food storage in meals. If you have a little peanut butter and a little top ramen in your food storage, that's not going to be that great of a meal and you won't be able to feed your family. So you want to think in meals. If you have tuna fish in your storage, you're obviously going to want some mayonnaise, maybe some pickles, salt and pepper. Make sure you have things that can make a complete meal. If you have a lot of cereal in your storage and you know your family eats that, make sure you have enough powdered milk. If you have a lot of oats, make sure you have some raisins to go with that and some cinnamon and brown sugar. So just start to think of your food storage in meals so that if you ever had to eat out of it, you'd be able to make meals for your family. On our website, there's a great form that you can download. It's called the Food Storage Meal Planner. This helps you with some really easy, basic food storage recipes that you'll be able to make sure you have each ingredient of those recipes in your food storage. If you do, I believe there's about 7 breakfast, 7 lunch, and 7 dinner recipes, and 7 dessert recipes that you can make completely from your food storage, not needing anything in your freezer or to buy at the store. So that's a great place to start to build up your food storage. So first you get your water, and then you get a 3-month supply of food that you can feed your family from. And then we'll move on to the long-term food storage items. The long-term food storage items are your basics, your legumes, which are beans, your powdered milk, your wheat, your pasta, your rice, grains, everything like that. The best way to store them that I do, which is the most inexpensive way, is to just get a Rubbermaid tote. They come in all sizes, so depending on what size of storage room you have, just pick a tote that works for you. Put your pasta in, just label it so you know what is inside. And this is how I store my rice, oats, pasta, anything that if rodents were to be in my area or in the food storage room, they wouldn't be able to get into the food. And neither would moisture if there were any flooding. So this is a great way to store your food storage items for your long-term supply. Powdered milk is a really important item you need to have in your food storage. A lot of things that we think we'll be able to eat if we had to live out of our food storage needs milk. Cereal, oats, cooking, pretty much everything we use, a lot of it needs milk. You can either get the milk from the cannery, which is a really great price. It's not the best tasting, but it will last a long time if you can it this way. This is one of the only things I can in a number 10 can that I feel is worth my time and money. This here is my other favorite powdered milk item. It's Morning Moo's milk alternate. So it's not the same as this milk, but it actually tastes great because it has some oil in it. It will last about 5 to 10 years in this gallon, in this pail, and is a great option because your family will actually drink it. You can use it in baking, cooking, and is a great option to have. And if you were to make this into milk, it's about $1 per gallon. So compare that to what you can get at the store. It's a lot less expensive. You can get this at Macy's, the Blue Chip Group, which is in West Valley, Utah, or you can buy it online at their website. Another important part of your food storage is to have a year's supply of spices. Just write down your favorite spices that your family uses on a regular basis. Keep track of those ones and make sure you have extras in your storage room. Salt is an important one. You need 8 pounds of salt per person. Alright, so over here is where I have my long-term food storage items stored. We were given these from a neighbor. Most likely you won't have something like this, but you can replace this with one of the large plastic garbage cans. That's the same idea. As long as there's a lid that snaps down tight, you'll be fine. I just picked the 4 items that we use most often and I want to store most of. Wheat, hard wheat, sugar, oats, and flour. As I just keep them in the bags, put them in the tubs, and whenever I need one I just put the date on it and I know which ones are older. When I buy some more, I take out the ones that are in here, put in the ones that I just bought, so they're on the bottom. But a lot of things like sugar and wheat will last 20 to 30 years, so I really don't worry about how well I rotate it, because I know I'm going to go through it. So this is just one way I store it. If you're not going to store your supply, you can just use the tubs, which is perfectly fine. Or if you are worried about it going bad, you can also can it, which is fine to do. It's hard to can this much. One thing that I do store a lot of, it's recommended to have about 100 pounds per person of hard wheat. That can either be red wheat or white wheat, whatever kind your family likes. A lot of people are afraid or just nervous to store a lot of wheat, but it actually is one of the most important things to have in your storage because it's made up of all of the proteins and minerals that your body needs to be able to survive. That's why they call it the grain of life, because you can basically live off of wheat alone and that can keep your body running. So it is an important thing to get. I buy mine at the LDS Cannery. You can get these 25-pound bags for about $6.25, which is about the third of a price of Costco, Walmart, anywhere like that. So if you don't have that, I would stock up. Prices of wheat have gone up considerably in the last few years. So if you don't have this in your storage, get that now, even if you don't know what to do with it, because you'll be able to figure it out. Wheat is just flour. All you do is you take the wheat kernels, you put it in a wheat grinder, a hand one or an electric one, whichever one you can afford, and it turns into flour. So I use half white wheat, half whole wheat flour in pretty much everything I make. Cakes, cookies, breads. You really can't taste that there's wheat flour in there, but it boosts up the nutrients and is really good for you. And it helps you cycle through your flour. So wheat is a very important part of your food storage. One thing people ask me is they get confused of buying a year's supply can be a little overwhelming. But that's what my food storage deals is here to help you with, is when items go on sale for really great prices, then we tell you exactly how much to add to your storage, whether it's for a 1-year supply for one person or if it's a family year supply. For example, pineapple for a family would be about 36 to 52 or more, depending how much you use it, cans for your year supply. So you would buy as much as you can afford. If you can only afford a 1-month supply, that's okay. Just stock up and buy some extras when it goes on sale, and you'll always have some in your storage. Ketchup is a family one, about 20 bottles of ketchup per family, and it just ranges each item. But on our website, under the free download section of myfoodstoragedeals.com, there's a download that you can download that's a 1-year supply guide. This supply guide will tell you exactly how much you need for each item per person for your supply. So it makes it really easy to keep track of what you need and what you have. There's also a great download that's an inventory sheet that can keep track of your items you have in your storage. Works like a checkbook. You take the totals and the inventory of what you have in your basement, and when you buy an item, you add to that total. When you use an item or bring it upstairs, you subtract from that total. So at all times you have a running total of all the items you keep in your food storage, and it makes it really easy for shopping. Let's say tomatoes are on sale, canned tomatoes, you can look at your sheet, and if you only have 5, then you know you need to stock up. Or if you have 50, you know you don't need to buy anymore. So it just is an easy way to keep track of what you have so you don't buy too much of something and have it go to waste.